Hello and welcome back, YouTube. It's Saturday, May 27th, 2003, 1:50. In other words, 10 minutes to 2 p.m. Obviously, because it's so bright outside. Oh my gosh, it's just oppressively bright. There's a Taco Bell right there. Coming into work at the new job, I've been kind of like trying to figure out where there's nearby fast food, because there's just really nothing over there by the warehouse. But this is a funny little area that I'm in right now. I'm near Litchfield Road in Glendale Road, or Glendale Avenue, I mean. 137th Avenue and Glendale Avenue. Litchfield is 13900 West, so if there's a numbered street, it'd be 139th Avenue. And yeah, this is a funny little bit of unincorporated Maricopa County that is surrounded by Luke Air Force Base. Wow, I think it's City of Glendale on the right. I think I just saw Glendale street signs. Although that might actually be the town of Litchfield Park. I know that's over here too. Anyway, I haven't been through here in a long time. I'm hoping I have enough gas to get to Costco, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It's at that spot on the gauge where it's hard to say. But yeah, the closest Costco is 99th Avenue in McDowell. Circle K moved since I've been out here. I'm at Dysart in Glendale right now, and there used to be a Circle K on the left. I can see it's the shell of the old store. It looks like a brand new modern one right up ahead across the intersection on the right. I'm gonna pop in there and just get a little bit of gas. Running out of gas on my way to Costco is just not my idea of a good time. And I have no idea what there is in the way of gas stations between here and there. I'm gonna give them all the cash that I have, which is probably like $3 and some change. At $5 a gallon, it's gonna make me look like a fool, but I know it's gonna make enough. I know it's gonna be enough to get me to Costco where I can top off. Putting in such a small amount of gas reminds me of back in I want to say 1989. A short period of time I was living with my mother, and she let me drive this extra car that she had bought. It was a 1988 and a half. Oh, damn near a brand new car, but a Yugo GV. Those cars were just like a rolling joke for the longest time. Honestly, for the short amount of time that I drove that car, I really liked it. It was, it drove really good. It handled really good. Had a 5-speed in it, so it was pretty spunky and quick. Up to about 50 miles per hour. Between 50 and 65, it kind of struggled to build that speed. And I don't think the thing get faster than 65 miles per hour. But back then, people really didn't drive faster than 65 on the freeways because the national speed limit was still 55. And but I remember gas people complaining about the price of gas then, and if memory serves, it was only like $1.35 a gallon. God, what it wouldn't do to have that back. But I remember I was always so broke. I remember sometimes just going to Circle K to get gas for the Yugo and emptying all my pockets and having like $1.38. And there'd be somebody behind me in line laughing about, my gas purchase, and I'd be like, you can laugh all you want, but that's going to keep this car going for the next 4 days. And it did too. Anyway, I shall be right back. Welcome back, YouTube. It's straight up 2 o'clock. I was able to get $4.13 in gas. It was less than a gallon, but at least I don't need to stress about running out of gas between here and Costco, and I can go top up there. And actually, that much gas in this car could probably get me all the way home and get me to the bar and back tonight. But, oh wow, really nice new build houses going in here on the right. Although for what it's worth, the Route 70 does come out this far west on Route 70 bus on Glendale. Now, not all the time and not every route. It's one of those things where, a lot of it, like probably over half of the runs stop before they get this far west. But there's a decent amount of them that go this far west. I remember coming out to this Air Force base with my father when I was a kid. He would go out there just to go shopping at the I forget what the heck it was called. There's like a store that's operated by the military that has a little bit of everything. I mean, including clothes and groceries and electronics. I remember as a kid, it even had music in it. But yeah, you don't get in there and shop unless you're military. But my dad was. So. Crossing the Agua River. That's the big dividing thing when you get out into this remote part of the valley. And of course, they can't build on the Agua Fria River bed. That was tried once in the late 70s. They built a development in it, and there was a flood, and all those houses just got flooded out. And that's when Maricopa County kind of took control over that. It's like, nah, this can't be developed. This isn't doable. Explicit Show Club. All right, where's Even Titties out this far? So I don't go back to work till Tuesday. My understanding that warehouse isn't open at all on Sundays. In fact, it was kind of a skeleton crew today, but I really enjoyed that. A City of Glendale landfill on the left. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. mostly kept to myself. I mean, I just was doing putaways for most of the night, or most of the day. I want to say night. I'm used to working at night. Most of the day I was doing putaways, which I said is, you know, a lot like functionally it's stowing. It's taking stuff that is all at the end caps and just putting them up into the racking. So I had one of the office people that works for, as I said before, there's basically 2 logistics companies that are contracted to handle this, and I seem to be with the smaller of the 2. But there's this gal that also works for that company, for K-Power, and her name's Allison. Or no, sorry, that's my daughter's name. Her name is Victoria, which is my daughter's middle name. So yeah, I'm gonna do pretty good at remembering her name. Although I asked her name again today. It wasn't that I didn't remember her name, I just didn't recognize her. Oops. Yeah, I just straight up didn't recognize her. But I just crossed New River Road. That used to be an old thoroughfare, and it's pretty much all closed off. It practically doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, there was a street sign, but it was closed off to the south. I remember you used to be able to cross this whole area on New River Road. But that was long before the Loop 101 freeway was built. You know, and I was planning on getting on the Loop 101 freeway, but since I'm off work and I have absolutely no pressure for time, and I'm not stressing about running out of gas. Wow, look at all those new build. I guess it looked like they're probably townhouses on the left. You can't tell if it's big apartments going in there or townhouses. Not like I'm at all thinking about moving out to this area. I absolutely love where I live. I mean, I do wish that Phoenix would address the homeless junkie issue. Looks like the Google logo to me on those new Glendale Street signs. The old Glendale logo better. You know, it's like, oh, Google. Is this a Google Street? No, it's a Glendale Street. This is 99th Avenue. So we got cornfields on the right, some kind of field on the left, and on the other side of the freeway is State Farm Arena, also known as Cardinal Stadium. Remind me, I'm eating my burritos. I'm hungry. As much as I used to complain about the Ballpark Boulevard, what the hell? It used to be Maryland Avenue. Now it's Ballpark Boulevard. I hate it when street names change. And it's got an additional sign on it that says Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. There's one wrong name for Maryland isn't enough. Let's give it 2. Big signs, office space release. It's actually a lot more relaxing than driving on the freeway. You got some kind of big batting cage on the left. Oh, and a nice looking Holiday Inn. Next light is Cardinals Way, which used to be Bethany Hill Road. So I'm at 6,000 North. I don't think I made this light. I could have made that, but whatever. I'm taking my time. Eating my burrito, enjoying the scenery. Noticing how crooked my phone is. Is that better? Yeah, maybe. was thinking it was time for happy hour drinks. And she's like, oh, that doesn't start until 2. I'm like, oh, man. So she just went ahead and gave me one, which is even better. Boy, it's so trippy driving through here and seeing the patchwork quilt of little agriculture plots that are, still fields, and just empty lots and new build houses and new office buildings and new apartments. This used to just be mostly open desert, a mixture of open desert and fields out here. It's just kind of what my brain says is supposed to be here. Some brand new apartments on the right. Now leasing, immediate move in. I'm in my current spot for at least one more year. In fact, my new lease hasn't even started yet. It's not until the 1st of the month. So, anyway, Victoria, at one point she came over and was asking me some questions about other people, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't even know. She was asking me when other people left. So I guess the other logistics company, they've got badges and time cards, so they're clocking in and clocking out. Very similar to the way it was done for me at Amazon with a RFID ID badge. You just hold up to the time card and it clocks you in and out. But K-Power doesn't have that system in there yet. So I'm actually doing a handwritten time card. It's like a photocopied sheet. It's about as low tech as possible. And Victoria seems to be handling that. But apparently, as a matter of policy, and it's kind of funny, like, I feel like I would feel like I was a new guy, except it seems like everybody's a new guy. Like, it seems like that place has only been open a couple of weeks, if that. But yeah, it seems like a lot of the people had their first day, or a lot of people. There's not that many people there, but it seems like a couple of the drivers had their first day the day before I did, and then I guess a couple of more of them had their first day like the day before that. So it's new homes leasing now. It's all rental property. These look like awful little houses too. I'm in the city of Phoenix now. That's Campbell. You can tell from the style of the street signs. It's always my best indication of what town I'm in. It's just looking at the style of the street signs and the style of the traffic light poles. Now, I'm pretty sure the Costco I'm going to is in Tolleson. More apartment buildings going out on the left there. It's wild seeing how many new houses and apartments and everything there are down there. So it looks like the ones on the right are going to be all rental as well. That seems really strange to me. An entire housing development where it looks like they're not even selling them. It looks like it's some kind of corporations maintaining ownership and just leasing them. Wow. So, oh, it just changed. Digital billboard just changed. It was a big digital billboard advertising that Amazon is hiring. So yeah, Victoria was asking me about like when the other people left, because apparently like policy on an overtime day, which today was, that's not a regular scheduled day, that as long as you stay at least 4 hours, you can leave whenever you want. I'm staying the whole 8. Oh yeah, it's only 8-hour shifts, not the 10-hour shifts I've become accustomed to. But yeah, I'm staying the whole time. This is such a long commute. Gas is so expensive. It just doesn't make sense to come out here for half a shift. New housing development going in on the left and the right. Always trips me out watching the way they build new build suburban residential neighborhoods. Some kind of an assembly line. What? A bunch of different food trucks on the left there. We still got the canal on the right. I remember when I was a kid and used to ride with my folks, for whatever reason, we'd be crossing these parts of towns, and this rural area outside of Phoenix. And I used to always think it was neat how it'd just be two lane roads with a canal on one side of it. You just see that the canal's still there on a bit of the road. So anyway, yeah, Victoria was asking me about when the other people left, and I'm like, I don't even know who that is. Sorry, I don't really know anybody here. I know David. That's the guy that was training me, and Adolfo. I know he's the manager. Said, but I've hardly talked to anybody. I'm pretty clear on what I'm doing at this point, so I'm just staying busy doing it. But it was nice, like nobody telling me what to do, nobody breathing over me. I did talk to the manager at the end of the shift, and he was like, "Yeah, I see you're doing great." Just had nothing but praise for me. Oh, hey, here's a big development today. So, as I mentioned, this is the biggest difference for me with this forklift gig is that I'm using racking, like tall racking, and putting pallets in tall racks. So I try to keep my eyes open and see where the hell Costco gas is. Right here. The guy behind me was probably pissed off at how slow I was driving, but I'm not entirely sure where I'm going. But I can see the Costco sign barely on the building off to the right. A lot of traffic in this parking lot today. Really, dude? What an asshole move that was. They can just compensate a truck on the wrong side. I can see the gas canopy coming up on the right.
Your taste buds will be best buds with Dr. Pepper Float Ice Cream from Reuben. The rich taste of creamy vanilla ice cream swirled together with the one-of-a-kind flavor of delicious Dr. Pepper. Treat yourself to a minor.
Anyway, at one point she asked me to explain what it was I was doing, because she didn't really know and understand. She's like, well, how do you know what to put where? I pretty much told her that as far as I knew, it was just basic. Everything was just based by the size. Everything was put away by its size. And that's
overdraw your account, we give you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with an extra day?
Sunday night and I have the Sunday scaries.
Honey, don't be scared. Every weekend comes with an extra day now.
Alright.
I'm trying to negotiate all this.
You don't stand an extra day. When it comes to overdrafts, you can.
This parking lot is busy. Looks like quite the strip mall up ahead on the left. So what the hell?
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive.
Roll out, dude.
Billy, listen
Anyway, sorry I'm not focusing enough on, I'm just trying to get in here, and I'm not focusing enough on explaining what exactly I was doing. I'll be a lot more focused when I get out of here in the next part, so hang tight for that. Alright, I'm back in motion. Fueling up that Toyota was hot. Get out to the right. I hate navigating these kind of oversized power center parking lots. Not a fan of this kind of suburbia. Wow, that guy didn't even attempt to stop. Wow, look how faded that street sign is. Like, I know it says 99th Avenue, but it sure isn't legible. Probably try and get a hold of Katrina since I'm near her place. Since she left something in my car the night we were hanging out, which was kind of hard to believe that was over a week ago. That was last Friday night. Not last night, Friday before. In fact, at this time a week ago, I was chilling in her bed. And not like that. I wish. Kind of. Kind of bummed. I haven't messaged her friend a few times on not a bunch. I don't know, maybe 3 times on Snapchat. And haven't heard back from her at all. So. Oh well, c'est la vie. Got to spend a day cuddling. It was nice. She's just not that interested in hanging out with me. So. Oh well. One of my sisters used to live very near here. Pretty sure they rented that house and weren't buying it. They were there for quite a while. The neighborhood off here to the left. In fact, I think I used to be able to get there by turning left here on 55th. I don't know. I always used to get kind of twisted in that neighborhood. It's pretty chaotically laid out. Oh, I got one of those big power center type signs by the freeway, and every single spot on it is blinking. That's odd. Reasonably close to where the last Arizona Kmart was. Wow, I'm looking for a shaded place to park. There's some little tiny trees, but they don't offer much in the way of shade. Anyway, I'll be back. I'll be back with more. Sorry, this is such a drawn out and boring video. I've got a lot on my mind. It's just not coming out very well. You know, start recording video when I think it's done dinging, and then it just starts dinging again. Ooh, look at that smashed out cinder block wall. that is a look all over Phoenix. And Phoenix has these silly little short walls that they put in so many places to separate the sidewalk from the sea of parking, which is, you know, one of the things that just makes this absolutely not really a walkable city. And cars are always smashing into those things. Yeah. Katrina messages me back, I'll get a push-through message over the top of my video, double back her way. But I'm not holding my breath for that. And right now is pretty much the middle of her night. Although we were all up at this time last week, so seems like we woke up around noon-ish. So I'm ready to go home and go to bed. I mean, I slept a lot yesterday. I'm nowhere near the kind of tired I was this time yesterday. Yeah, God, yesterday I was probably asleep within 15 minutes ending my video yesterday once I got home. And I didn't wake up till like 11 p.m. Like all that erratic sleeping just finally caught up to me, and I slept like a rock. I do think I woke up at one point in time, maybe around 5 p.m. or something. You know, which at that point I'd only been asleep for a couple of hours. I was just like, no, I'm not getting up right now. Nope, not happening. I just rolled over and went back to sleep. Air conditioning feels really good in the car right now. And hey, the iPhone's recording without overheating, so that's a pretty solid indication that the air is being efficient. And I-10 is slowing way down. I don't know what's up with that. Well, I was going to talk about what I was doing at work that was different today, because I did have a big, what I would consider a major milestone as far as, you know, major personal accomplishment for me as a forklift operator. But it looks like I'm going to have to wait and explain that later, because this definitely warrants me stopping my camera and looking at the traffic view. So I'll be back once I get out of this traffic mess. And I'm back. Yeah, that was quick. I guess I should say what time it is, huh? 3:26 p.m. Dang, almost 2 hours since I got off work, and I still haven't really haven't made it very far. I'm at 75th Avenue and I-10, so pretty much where I'd be getting on the freeway if I was leaving my old job. But I got a lot done. I mean, I got my gas tank topped off. I got a decent lunch and a free soda over at Taco Bell. Got a message sent off to Katrina, which I'm bad at remembering to message people. And yeah, it was looking like it was coming up on a lot of traffic, but there was just an accident right up ahead of where it was. People playing bumper cars on the freeway. That's an everyday thing here in Phoenix. And it looked like the typical shit of somebody tailgating somebody else, just not paying adequate attention and then just plowing into their back end. And I couldn't help but notice that the person who smashed up the front of her car, which you can pretty much guarantee that's the driver at fault, was a rather attractive woman. So I do notice those. I do notice they seem to be disproportionately looking at their cell phones while they're driving compared to other drivers. Oh wow, another Saturn Ion. Something I don't see every day. So anyway, I was wanting to talk about my big milestone today as a forklift operator. So yesterday was actually the first day I've ever worked with racking, which I think to the average forklift operator would be like, wait, what? You've never worked with racking? No, never worked with racking. I mean, at Amazon, 90% of the time I was either loading trucks or unloading trucks. The only real diversion that I had from that was pallet receive, which, to be fair, could have been done more efficiently with racking, but forklift experience is definitely dumbed down for brand new forklift drivers with zero experience that they expect are not going to stay on the job very long. And now that I'm in another warehouse, I'm just able to see just how much that experience is dumbed down. So yeah, I'm assuming that's the reason. The main reason there's no racking in GYR3 even in the pallet receive area that could use it. Yeah, the only time I ever really raised my forks was to like more than a couple of inches, was just to stack and downstack pallets. Stacking pallets and putting them up in racking. Like yesterday was my first day of doing that. Right now we're just using the bottom two shelves. Now the bottom layer, those are for boxes that aren't on pallets, like basically light boxes that are light that can be just handled without a forklift. And generally speaking, those just get sat on top of a box that's going on a pallet, and just like if it's light enough to just throw it on top of that box and then pull it off that box and throw it on the bottom on the ground level, then that's how that gets handled. And of course everything above there is on pallets. The next layer up, I've been putting everything up there, and that one's about, I don't know, 5 feet up ish, 6 feet up. It's not particularly high. Maybe just a little bit higher than I'm accustomed to raising pallets to double stack them. So I've been doing that, and granted it's tighter quarters than I'm used to, but kind of reminiscent of downstacking pallets of totes when I was working Dock 335, which was the tote, the incoming tote door at GYR3 that had the really narrow workaround. And yeah, it was always kind of tricky. Like it was always a little tricky to downstack in there because it's such tight quarters. But I did it, and so that was kind of helping me as far as like that experience, as far as like trying to put the stuff in the racks, because there is just barely, and I mean just barely, enough clearance with the, keep in mind, I'm not sure if I explained that yesterday, but I'm using extended forks, so like the forks on these forklifts are twice as long as the forks on the forklifts at Amazon. So instead of being the length, and I'm not sure the exact length, but the length go into a 4-foot pallet, they're the right length for double length 8-foot pallets, which we use a lot of. But yeah, to get it to go down the aisle and then turn 90 degrees before line up with the spaces on the racks and then raise the forks on the racks, it's a really tight squeeze. So I'm getting better at it. In fact, I feel like I was pretty comfortable at it. There were only a couple of times I got turned and I didn't feel like I was really in the right place. Then I've had a couple times or quite a few times where I was not exactly in the right place, but I was close enough that I could compensate for it in the way that I put the pallet in and doing a little sliding to the left and the right. So, now I've been watching techniques some of the other drivers are using, and not really comfortable with it. I mean, maybe at some point I'll be comfortable doing some of those kind of maneuvers, but yeah, it seems like a lot of them are raising their forks all the way up in the aisle, to the point where they're higher up than the third layer, and then turning the forks what's actually considered a safety violation at this place, I have no idea. It seems really chaotic. And something two other forklift drivers pointed out to me that had experience working in other places was that it's unnerving to see how many people in this warehouse drive up and down the aisles and around with their forks leading, with and without loads. And they commented, yeah, every other place they'd ever worked at is forks trailing. And I'm like, oh yeah, Amazon catches you doing that, you're not a forklift driver anymore. They take your permissions away. But yeah, a lot of the guys, and I'm not anybody to tell them not to do it. I mean, apparently that's acceptable to do. I refuse to do it. I'm gonna always drive forks trailing just because I have a better view of where I'm going, and it just overall feels like I'm doing the right thing. Anyway, yesterday I was putting everything, all the pallets that I was bringing onto the second shelf. Excuse me. And to be honest, I didn't even think I could use the third shelf. I thought the third shelf was too high, that I would need to do that with one of the reach trucks. But since I was on just a regular forklift, I thought I was limited to the second shelf. And then I saw somebody using the same type forklift I was using retrieve something from the third shelf, at which point it was like, oh, all right, I guess I am expected to use that. And I talked about it with the guy who was training me, and it was like, this is my first day of working, and I'm talking about like yesterday. So this is my first day of ever working with racking. Yeah, I'm not ready to start going all the way up to that third shelf. Obviously, I'm gonna have to do it soon, and I'll get on it soon. But he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Don't do anything you're not comfortable with. He goes, you're clearly getting a lot comfortable, picking things up really fast. It's just like, I'm sure you'll do it. Anyway, today, since there was a lot less people working and a lot less traffic in the warehouse, at one point I just found myself alone in an aisle, and I felt I was going to stay alone in that aisle. So I went ahead and put one onto the third shelf, and no issues at all doing it. It was honestly a lot easier than I thought it would be. It did most definitely make me nervous lifting a load that high on my forks. I mean, I believe the forks will go that high at Amazon, but I've never had reason to bring anything that high. And I'm sure if for some reason I did lift a pallet that high, that would be a safety violation, if not an instant termination. Like, why the fuck were you doing that? Are you trying to hurt somebody? But in this new warehouse, that's part of the job. But yeah, it is unnerving how high that third rack is. I mean, I couldn't say how many feet. I really don't know. But it's, I'm looking straight up. I'm looking straight up at the underside of the pallet. It's up there. Now I've noticed there are some things on the fourth level. I was told by the trainer that we're only using the first three levels, but I've noticed product on the fourth level. So yeah, there's been quite a bit of contradiction in things people have said to me, and I just try to. It seems like that's something that happens in every job I've ever had. I just try not to sweat it and do what makes the most sense to me. But yeah, it got to the point where I was actually putting. I don't know if I want to say most pallets on the third level, but a lot of them. After about my third or fourth one, I got pretty comfortable with it. So I've conquered my fear of putting things on the third rack. And for now, I'm not going to even try to put anything higher than that, as I've been told I'm not supposed to. At one point, they were talking about training me to do picking, and I told them I'd really rather not. I'd rather just get more comfortable on the forklift, and get proficient proficient at one skill before I move on to another one. So right now that skill is putting away, they call it put away. What are you doing? Yeah, you're doing put aways. I think I did the majority of the put aways today. General feedback I got from everybody was I was pretty decent fishing at it. So. Anyway, really not much more else to say about it. So I should probably just wrap up this video now. I don't think I have anything else on my mind worth mentioning. Well, I did hear back from my daughter. I really don't feel like talking about that. It's frustrating. She did make it to the hospital on her own. She didn't get charged from the hospital on her own. She managed to do something stupid that got her back into the hospital later on her own, and I think she's since been discharged again. Upset and wants to just go full on tough love and yell at her for it, and I'm realizing that, at this point I just need to kind of shake my head and realize she's an adult and I can't stop her from doing stupid shit that she knows is self-destructive. Anything else worth mentioning? Oh yeah, the battery in my old iPhone 6s Plus, it is not healthy. It was down to 1% by my third break, and I didn't even use the damn thing, and it was at like 95% when I left my apartment. So, I think it's saying like 74% health, which is pretty bad. Did not realize this phone needed its battery replaced. I don't feel like I can justify that expense right now, so I'm just trying to make the most of it. That's pretty much it. Anyway, thanks for coming with me on the drive, and hopefully my next video will be more interesting than